Alright folks, Pitching 88, we are back. My criminal case on Facebook. Let's head on to chapter number 3, where Fiona Flanagan is dismantling the distillery. She could be getting rid of evidence. We need to go stop her. Miss Flanagan, stop right where you are. What? I'm not doing anything. It's not a crime to be here. Yeah, we know you're trying to take the place apart and absent with the alcohol. Don't even think about it. Whatever you think you know, you can't prove it. I'm off to the races anyway. You may entertain yourselves here if you like. Oh, Ace, that woman is so frustrating. We know she's been in the alcohol racket, but she's right. We can't prove she's selling anything. Good point. We should have another look around this distillery. We might find something to pin on Fiona and get us one step closer to solving a murder. I feel like you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. You should be nice to her. Especially considering she's like a mob boss. Don't want the mob boss on our bad side. I mean, yes, we're going to be trying to get her, but we don't need to be like... Okay, so this is definitely one. Snake and wooden plank. I thought that was a wooden plank. I wish I was there. That's a good hashtag. Thank goodness we arrived here in time to stop Fiona Flanagan from removing anything. Ace, you found some clues. And that's one of the labels from the moonshine, but somebody wrote a message on it. Davey, you can't stop me from taking what I want. This message sounds very belligerent. Maybe taking a sample from the stain on the label tells who wrote it to the victim. And what is this chunk of wood? Why does it have the victim's name on it? Let's take out your destiny kit to see what this is all about. If you think putting this broken watch together will help us move forward, I'm all for it. Ace, I'm sure we're on the right track. I am as well. Yeah, because we have a lot of clues. Excellent work. You've sampled the stain of that aggressive note. This is a job for the microscope, Ace. What is it? Almost 9. Well, Ace, the sample you picked up from that threatening note contained orange zest and ricotta cheese. These are both the ingredients of cannoli, and we know a baker who makes cannoli in Concordia, Mauro Massetti. And you're right, this means that Mr. Massetti wrote this threat to the victim, saying that he'd take what he wanted. What do you mean by that? Better go ask Mr. Massetti right away. So it tells me he was buying some of his moonshine. So what's this? Whoa, that is creepy. It's creepy. Ace, what is this ghastly thing? It looks like a banshee, the Irish death omen. Oh, you said the Irish gang has previously used such banshees to send death threats to its enemies? Well, this means that the gang sent this threat to our victim. Fiona Flanagan said she had no reason to go after Davy Byrne. Looks like she told a lie. She better tell us the straight story now. But she's off at the tracks, remember? Hey, judging by these initials, this pocket watch belonged to our victim, but look at the blood on it. If that blood belonged to the victim, we better get this watch to Viola so that she can analyze it. Agree. Mr. Massetti, you told us that you didn't know the victim. We know that you wrote a threat to him. Well, it was not a threat, it's a negotiation. I wanted some booze. I came to Davy even though he's Irish. I heard through the grapevine that he makes the moonshine. But he won't give me any because I'm Italian. He wouldn't even take my cigarettes to trade for booze, or my delicious cannolis. So you threatened him? No. He was a real rough type, a gangster right out of the Pistols and Petticoats. A guy like me don't mess with a guy like that. Still, I thought Mr. Burns was also a businessman, that we could make a deal, and I was wrong. Well, Mr. Massetti, I hope for your sake that all of these so-called negotiations end in murder. Yeah, it definitely could have been. He's got all of them, and he's got the blue marking on his shoulder. Well, game's up, Miss Flanagan. We know you wanted the victim dead. You sent him a banshee. Interesting. It would appear that you know your Irish symbolism. But if I did send that banshee, it's because Davy brought it on himself. He shouldn't have tried to cheat me out of my money. Oh, so you admit David was illegally making moonshine for you. Well, what? Did he start selling some on the side? I'm admitting to nothing, but Davy should know better than to anger people like me. I'm not a damsel out of pistols and petticoats. Anyway, someone got to him before the gang did. It doesn't matter to me. Though, as long as he isn't cheating me out of my money to cover his wife's horse racing debts anymore. Wow, you're bold as brass stating such a clear motive, Miss Flanagan, but saying you didn't kill him doesn't make it so. Oh, we're not even going to talk to the wife. Okay. Well, anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in 9 hours. Pachingas88. Au revoir. Alright, folks, Pachingas88, we are back. Hello, Ace. How do you like my new wig? I'm wearing it to an audition for a new play tonight. You look lovely, Viola. But have you had a look at the victim's pocket watch? Was his blood on it? I used a DNA machine to check the blood against the victims, but it did not match. However, I did discover that the blood belonged to another man with light hair. Huh. A man with light hair. Well, that could very well be Seamus O'Neill, but how would his blood end up on the victim's pocket watch? We better track down Mr. O'Neill and ask him. That sounds incriminating. Seamus, can you explain how Senior Trooper Ace found your blood on Davy Burns' busted up pocket watch? About that. Let me finish the cigarette and I'll be right with you. You see, me and Davy, we had a bit of a fight. You had a fight with the victim? Why did you neglect to mention it before? Well, I know how bad that sounds, but the truth is, Davy didn't like the bosses thinking he needed any help with deliveries, so he took it out on me. I returned from the racetrack one evening, and he knocked me tail over tea kettle. I may read Pistols and Petticoats, but I do know how to fight. I just took most of the hits so I wouldn't get in trouble with the bosses. And yet, there's barely a scratch on you while Davy Byrne was burnt to death. We'll see how far your bad blood went. Count on it. Yeah, that sounds bad. Hey, so many suspects in the murder of Davy Byrne have clear motives. Who could have set him aflame? Fiona Flanagan threatened him with death for cheating her out of money. He also conflicts with Seamus O'Neill and Moro Massetti, neither of whom he wanted around. Is that enough of a motive for murder? You're right, Ace. If we'll find answers anywhere, it'll be at the crime scene. Let's go. Yeah, so really it's between Seamus, we think. Seamus and his wife. Oh, almost every time it's the wife. That's why you gotta be nice to the women in your life, because they'll kill you. If Criminal Case and TV shows have ever taught us anything. Ooh, a cigarette case. Nice. Let's see, Dragonfly, Rubbish Bin. There's the cat. The cat's up here. And the mousetrap. Boom! Shakalaka. And a star. Well, because cashed in some of my playing cards. Ace, the cigarette case has burn marks on it. Looks as though it was dropped here during the murder. Since we know that the killer smokes, they must have dropped the case here. Sample those particles from the cigarette case could lead straight to the murderer. And there could be something in that rubbish bin, you're right. Dig in. We're closing in on the killer now. I can feel it. Me too. I can feel it as well. Sample those strange particles from the killer's cigarette case. Excellent. Violet needs to examine it straight away.
15 hours. Alright, I can do that. Ah, there's the blue. We were looking for that. Handkerchief should be found in the rubbish bins, covered in soot. You're right, Ace. Everything to do with the fire leads us straight to the murder. The victim wouldn't need a hanky after being burnt to death, but the killer might have wanted to clean up. Maybe they left this blue stain on it too. Let's hope Viola can tell us what it is. Yep, so that is not a red herring. That's definitely part of it. So, I'll see you guys in 15 hours. It's been Pitching Ace 88. Au revoir. Alright, folks, let's arrest this killer. Hey, Maddie, I must commend you for your fortitude. You've been surrounded by all this alcohol throughout this investigation. You haven't run off to drink it at all. Oh, don't even talk to me about it, Viola. This is some form of twisted torture. Anyway, have you discovered what that blue stain the killer left on the handkerchief Ace sent you? I have, and it is most apropos of our discussion. The stain was moonshine, the same kind that the victim was doused in. Oh, so the killer must have splashed moonshine on themselves while pouring it on the victim to set him on fire. And the killer tried to clean it off, but a handkerchief wouldn't have been enough. They still have this blue moonshine on them. Oh, so the killer has a blue stain on their clothing. I guess there are some things a person just can't wash away, like murder. Ace, once again you have called upon my services, and once again I shall not fail you. The fibers you collected from the killer's cigarette case turned out to be boiled wool. Other than being stinky, what does the boiled wool tell us? Well, boiled wool is used in a variety of ways, most commonly in hat making, so I'll wager that your killer wears a hat. Oh, so the killer wears or has a visited haberdasher. That will narrow down the list of suspects. So it's not his wife? We have everything we need to arrest Davy Byrne's killer, Ace. Let's go. Yeah, I could have sworn it was a wife. Oh, I forgot he had it. I totally thought it was between these two. Ah. Someone was upset that he didn't get the moonshine. It was good to see Robin Hood back. He remembers me from like 4 or 5 years ago. Mr. Massetti, you're under arrest for the murder of Davy Byrne. Hola? Why would I murder that guy? I don't know. Why did Senior Trooper find your cigarette case on the crime scene with fibers from your hat? Oh, you're grabbing at fibers here. I'm guilty of nothing. Then why send the victim a threat cut out of pistols and petticoats? Wait, you think a baker has time to cut out little letters from some stupid stories and make a note? I don't even have time to relax with the drink. Well, you got plenty of the victim's moonshine on yourself when you doused him in it and set him on fire. Oh, Ben, I did kill him. The Irish thief owed me money. Owed you money? For what? You told us earlier Davy refused to enter into any deals with you. Well, he refused to acknowledge me now that he was rolling in dough, but when I first knew him, he'd only just come to Concordia and he was nothing. A nobody. He borrowed money from me all those years ago and didn't mind me being Italian back then. He promised to repay me once he got on his own 2 feet. But when I heard that Davy had started doing good for himself and came to collect, he wanted nothing to do with me. So one day I said, basta. I took him by surprise in the street and got my payment in full. Wow, and you'll have to pay with jail time, Mr. Massetti. You're under arrest. Mr. Massetti, you are before this court charged with the murder of Davy Byrne, a known bootlegger. You set him on fire with his own moonshine, is that correct? Yes, Your Honor, but he wouldn't pay me what he owed me. Well, you could have taken your concern before the law and justice would have been served. Instead, now you'll be going to jail for your heinous actions. This court hereby sentences you to 25 years in Stonewall Prison. Oh, but my bakery! Who will make the best cannolis in Concordia? Not our problem, dude. I will never understand criminals, Ace. Why kill people when the law is around to help with any disagreements? Well, disagreements over money often end badly, but I'm still surprised that the Irish gang didn't kill Davy Byrne, since he was cheating them too. And speaking of the gang, I do hope that we can put an end to all of this illegal Irish moonshine. We can't allow that distillery to remain open. Never fear, Judge. Lawson, Senior Trooper Ace will make sure that shutting it down is the next thing we do. Along with giving us a secret stash just for Maddie. Anyways, guys, see you guys in the additional investigation. It's been Pitching Ace 88. Over and out.